natin. So, we'll talk about value investing. Pero before we start, siguro, i-ano ko na rin para at least medyo may connect doon sa kinukwento ni DJ kanina about yung goal talaga natin here is to help fellow advisors to invest, not just to learn the theories, but to actually apply them. No? So, para lang to get feedback on sino ba dito, gusto ko lang malaman sino dito sa inyo, like ilan lang naman tayo, who are really investing at the moment. Like, meron talaga silang money in stocks. Since value investing tayo, we'll talk about stocks muna, diba? So, sino dito yung talagang merong money in stocks? Si Giselle, meron long term. Long term lang, okay? Sino pa? Si Argel, alam natin si Argel meron. Si Leslie meron. Dennis meron. Okay, curious ako. So, gawin natin a little bit more interactive. Na hindi lang din ako. Giselle, magsalita naman kayo. Ilan lang naman tayo eh. So, when you say, di ba, nag-invest ka long term lang, how did you pick your stocks?
Ako kasi, tinignan ko yung 52-week. Actually, bago lang ako nun eh. So, tinitingnan ko kasi, although may mga konti na ako, naging strategy before testing ng stocks trading. Ang tinitingnan ko 52-week low tsaka high. So, pag tiningnan ko siya, na mas malayo siya sa, halimbawa, nasa low siya, mas malapit siya dun sa 52-week low or nandun siya sa 52-week low niya, dun ako bumibili, yun ko yung binibili kong stocks. Kasi parang feeling ko parang mas may tendency siyang tumaas long term. Tapos, tinitingnan ko rin yung background ng company, kung okay ba siya or ano yung naririnig kong news about the company.
Pero ano to, before the pandemic pa to?
Hindi. Yung pandemic lang.
Okay. So, titignan mo yung
pero,
low and then doon ka magbe-base. Yeah, you were saying, pero ano?
Pero yun yung naging, kasi parang nag-exercise na, may mga game kasi sa online.
Parang virtual parang trading.
Oo, virtual. Yun yung parang ginawa kong strategy before. Tapos, yun yung nakita ko nag-work. Tsaka hindi na ako bumibili nung parang hindi masyadong hype na Ewan ko kasi parang nung na-try ko yung parang virtual lang, hindi ganong malaki yung kita. Pag masyadong stagnant yung galaw halimbawa hindi siya masyadong tumataas in the 52-week niya period, parang hindi ko siya kinukuha.
Okay.
Parang ganun.
Pag hindi masyadong. So, ano ka ba? Nasa blue chips ka lang? Or minsan meron ka rin
hindi,
halo-halo rin?
Pero
lahat long term?
Long term, di ako nag-sell agad eh. Hinahayaan ko lang siya.
Okay. So, hindi. Pero before the during the pandemic parang nag-start eh. So, so ilang months pa lang rin yun. Okay, sige. Si Leslie, ni long term. Sabi rin niya, Leslie, paano ka pumili ng stocks that you are going to invest in?
Mostly kasi ng stocks ko, blue chips. Tapos meron din akong mga nabiling yung IPO. Trinay lang. Pero
during the pandemic yan?
Hindi, before.
Before pa?
Hindi pa ako nakakapag-con ngayon eh. Oo.
Okay.
Kasi yung tinitignan ko, nung pandemic na, bumili ako nung around March, yung sobrang baba.
Okay.
Ayun, nakabili ako ng Ayala.
Okay.
Around, nasa 20, basta less than 30 siya.
Ayala Land.
Ang mostly kasi na tinitignan ko is yung sa MACD, saka RSI.
Okay. Wait, long term ka, di ba? Okay. Pero tumitingin ka sa RSI and MACD.
Oo.
Okay.
Kasi doon ako tumitingin kung bibili ba ako or hindi.
Kasi
okay.
So, yun yung basis mo.
Hindi ako averaging kasi. Kung for example, di ba pag nag-cross na yung sa MACD, tapos yung RSI, medyo pataas na siya, doon bumibili na ako kasi sure ako na natataas siya. Napataas
Okay.
siya. Ayun.
Pero, ang
Then,
goal mo dito, long term.
yung iba kasi long term, yung iba parang short term.
Okay. So, may mga in-identify kang stocks for long term.
May
Tapos may mga
may
stocks.
mga long term ako, may mga short term ako.
So, paano mo pinili yung long term, for example? Paano mo pinili yung stocks?
Long term, mostly
long term.
talaga blue chips.
Okay.
Blue chips talaga ako sa long term.
Okay.
Bali, ano
Tapos
yun?
yung...
Yun yung isang long term, yung Ayala.
Pero pag yung
Kasi
mga trading mo, hindi blue chip.
Yung mga IPO. Ganun.
Okay. Pumasok ka IPO.
Mostly mga
Pero IPO price.
Yung mga
Okay, sige.
IPO price.
Yeah. Thanks, Leslie, and thanks, Giselle, kanina. Dennis! Si Dennis meron eh. Ikaw, paano mo pinili?
Ako, I actually started this pandemic lang yung earlier, April yata yun or May. Tapos, ayun, yung pinili kong stocks, based dun sa company na alam ko din, like Ayala Land, Ayala Corp, San Miguel, URC, saka ano pa ba yung
Okay.
ako. Pero yun, mostly sila, 100% pala blue chips. Tapos, yun, member ng index natin, index fund. Tapos, actually, kinuha ko yung Ayala Corp. Doon yung parang bulk na investments ko kasi narinig ko dati kay Melvin Esteban na yun yung magandang stocks talaga. Tapos sa company din eh. Ayun, naka 48% yun yata ako return. Tapos, yun long term din siya. And then, yung iba naman, essentials like yung San Miguel, di ba? Food, URC, yan. Saka, ko yung isang stock. Ali, ayun, yung medyo ko lang, yung lugi ako ngayon eh. Pero, we pick up naman siya for sure anytime soon. Basta long term.
Basta ang goal mo lahat, long term yan. Pero meron ka bang time horizon ng long term mo?
Sa akin siguro 10 years, 20 years, din yan.
Okay, so talagang long term.
Extra money ko na lang yun, tapos yun, dadagdag na lang anytime soon pag meron ulit.
Okay, sige. Thanks, Dennis. Okay, so kaya ako lang din naman tanong kasi I always like to get yung ano yung background or ano yung understand ng mga tao about the stocks and how they did it para at least alam ko how to give out examples or paano ko i-present yung slides. No? So based tingnan ko lang kung meron pa iba na na-miss. Si Argel na-miss ko pero hindi ko natatanong. Okay, so sige, start tayo. So itong presentation ko actually based lang rin naman to sa mostly dito ma-research na naman kasi ako I do value investing din pero hindi ako regular like may mga hindi ako regularly nag-i-invest. Okay, so para disclaimer lang. So I have some stocks na before pa dati ko pang nabili and pero bulk of my stocks ngayon is yung nabili ko lang recently like April yata or May. No? So yung mga before ko pa are yung mga Mega World. I bought it at mga halos nag-break even na nga yung before pa kasi binili ko yung mga Mega World ko 2 point something lang. So medyo na-affect din ng pandemic na to. No? So and it's a learning experience rin for me. So, sige, pag-usapan natin value investing. Okay, so before anything else, anong idea nyo of value investing? Can you type in words that you may think of kapag sinabing value investing? You can type it sa chat box. Meron ba? Meron bang nag-attempt mag-type? Cheap sale. Okay. Ano pa? What words or ano yung idea nyo of value investing? Projecting the value of the company to be higher than its price now. Yes. Okay. Intrinsic. May malalim intrinsic. Okay, so the time value and monetary returns yan ang na-identify ni Dennis as for value investing. Okay, so ano nga ba yung value in investing? Okay. So basically, ang definition niya is it is an investment strategy that involves picking stocks that appear to be trading for less than their book value. Okay? Wala yan. Nakuha ko lang yan sa Investopedia. So, na makikita nyo rin. So, pero ang pinaka ano talaga dyan is value investing is buying stock that from your perspective is on sale. Kaya, ba't ko sinabing from your perspective? Kasi there are different ways investors, there are different methods na ginagamit ng investors to say na a stock is for sale. Diba? Hindi pare-pareho yung mga yung basis nila. In fact, some investors may see a stock na undervalued, pero some investors may see it differently. No? So, yun yung kailangan nating maintindihan na walang hard rule na nagsasabi na this stock is cheap or undervalued. No? Depende yan sa investor and how he or she was able to study the stocks na i-investan niya. Okay? So why do stocks go on sale or undervalue? So una is market crashes. So ito yung mga kailan ba yun? 2008, 'di ba? Nung global financial crisis and yung currently yung crash na yung nangyari recently, 'di ba, yung sa pandemic. It's one of those. Actually, hindi ko nga ma-consider na crash talaga yun, pero it was medyo similar kasi pero medyo naka-recover naman siya quickly. I think mas makaka-categorize ko pa siya into really bad news na nagkaroon ng bad news and people were afraid, 'di ba? And nagpanic and everyone just sold their shares kasi they didn't really know what to expect after declaring lockdown. In fact, kaya ako naman siya hindi masabi na makategorize rin as market crash kasi nag-start naman yung pandemic was January, February. Wala namang basically medyo stable yung stocks na. Although medyo bumababa pero hindi pa not showing signs of crash, di ba? So parang hindi pa talaga considered na at that time hindi pa siya bumagsak until nagkaroon ng lockdown, which is parang many treated it as a bad news for the markets. So kaya biglang nag-crash. Diba? So another reason why stocks are undervalued is because sometimes it's a cycle. Kumbaga, tumataas, bumababa, merong economic cycle that happens. Actually, in fact, nung before pa months or last year, may mga nababasa na akong articles about the new economic cycle na that's happening. So parang, alam niyo naman yung favorite kong columns kay John Mangun. Parang may binabanggit na siya noon before na at that point, we were in a political crisis or political cycle, a different political cycle. Kaya raw nanalo yung mga candidates like sina Duterte, sina Trump, and sa other countries, meron ring mga unexpected na mga leaders that emerged as the country's leaders. So it was a political cycle that happened. No? Parang nag-iba yung cycle in terms of politics. And sinasabi niya doon na what comes next after a political cycle is an economic cycle. So, which is apparently nangyari nga. Kasi even before this pandemic, yung economy yung markets natin were already showing signs na pababa na talaga, 'di ba? We were on a high of 9,000 yung index natin and then nagkaroon na ng signs na going down na talaga siya, which hindi natin alam kung up to what point, pero napabilis lang because of the pandemic or the lockdown, diba? So there's an economic cycle that can determine yung pagtaas or pagbaba nung value ng mga different stocks, no? So it can be that as well. Or some stocks are undervalued because they are unnoticed or hindi sila sikat, hindi sila glamorous enough, 'di ba? So like sa US, ang pinakasikat ngayon are the tech stocks, 'di ba? But if you will look further, merong mga stocks that would definitely be undervalued. Kasi nga lahat are very high or very bullish on tech stocks, 'di ba? So dito meron din mga ganyan, 'di ba? And later ipapakita natin or at least I'll give you an overview on how you can assess if a stock is undervalued or ano yung mga strategies na pwede niyong gamitin to determine if a stock is a good buy, diba? So yan, another reason why stocks are undervalued because hindi sila exciting enough, diba? So one of the ito isa sa mga stocks na laging unnoticed but we know is a strong, personally I know is a strong company is yung Cebulan Masters nga. Yung kinukwento ko kina Argel before kasi although meron kaming, kumbaga, we have a friend who works there as a CFO and medyo ano siya, fundamentally it's a sound company. Okay? Pero since hindi siya sikat, hindi siya kilala masyado, it is hindi ganun kalakas yung movements niya in the short term. So hindi siya katulad ng mga other stock na sikat na malakas yung volatility and you can easily buy. Pero fundamentally it's sound, maganda, may cash sila, they have good earnings, meron silang extra cash, in fact they bought back some of their shares, so meron silang free cash na hawak. So pero hindi siya sikat, hindi siya glamorous as other compared to the other stocks na sa property sector, diba? Like Ayala Land, Mega World, kasi yung mga kilala natin so yun yung sikat for us, diba? So yun yung isa example nun. Another is herd mentality. So parang herd mentality is yung kasi 'di ba minsan marami sa atin we just follow kung ano man yung uso or ano man yung bibili ng mga ibang mga tao. So doon lang tayo naka-focus, 'di ba? Nagfo-focus lang tayo kung ano yung trend ng mga binibili ng mga tao without realizing that there are still other stocks na parang pwede pa natin bilhin. Meron sa Ido na CLM, Sunrise Condo, yes. So, actually maraming project si Cebulan Masters. Medyo na-hold lang rin daw kasi nga because of the pandemic. Pero some of the existing na yung ginagawa na tuloy pa rin. Okay, so how to know if a stock is undervalued? So maraming measures. So these are just some of the few. Price to book value, price to earnings ratio, and free cash flow. And hindi to based on looking at charts. Yung nakikita nyong charts minsan pag nag-invest Instagrams kayo, hindi yun yung basis niya, no? Usually ang basis nito are financial reports or financial statements. So for you to be able to derive the book value, for example, or the price to earnings ratio, you have to look into the financial statements, which is, since publicly listed companies naman sila, they are readily available. Okay. So ano ba to? Price to book value measures the value of the company's assets versus its stock price. If price is lower than the value of assets, stock is undervalued. Wait lang popause na ako. Sobrang init pala rito.
Ayan. So habang wala si JJT, what are you learning so far? Type kayo naman ng takeaways habang nagsiset up siya ng kanyang cooling system.
Binuksan ko yung aircon, sorry. Sobrang init.
Sabi ko
Post na post.
mag-type sila ng mga takeaway so far. Habang iniintay ka namin.
Mabilis lang naman eh. So yun, price to book value measures the value of company's assets versus stock price. Lower the value of assets. If price is lower than the value of assets, then stock is undervalued. Price to earnings is means a low PE ratio could mean a company is doing well relative to its past trends, thus undervalued. Pero it doesn't mean always na mababa yung PE ratio, it's an undervalued company. So you have to be wary of that na hindi porket mababa yung PE ratio niya, automatic buy ako kagad. So you have to understand other factors. In fact, etong mga to, they really can't stand alone on their own. So parang pag sinabi mong price to earnings ratio, ay mababa, bili na ako. Hindi siya nag-work na ganun. Or price to book value, ay mababa. So mas mababa yung price than the value of the assets, then bili na kagad ako. So there are still other factors involved. Kaya nga, sinabi ko sa inyo kanina na parang hindi lang siya, walang one ano tawag ito, metric that would say na buy ako kagad. Kasi there are different factors that you still have to consider. And then, free cash flow. If the company has free cash flow, that means they have cash. Meron silang pera and they could use this to expand their business, to pay off yung mga utang nila, to pay dividends or issue buybacks. Meaning they buy back some of the shares to, kumbaga, bibili sila more shares. Yung company itself would buy more shares to signify that the company is strong and the company, the owners of the company believes still knows that they are in a good position. So that's why they're buying back shares as well. Kasi alam nila in the future tataas pa rin yung value ng company nila. Kaya sila nagba-buy back. Yun yung reason kung bakit nagba-buy back sila. Okay. So, ano ba yung mindset natin when it comes to value investing? Again, yung kanina, ito, nakuha ko lang yan sa Investopedia. Okay, so mamaya, ito theories lang to eh. So later, later on sa slides, I'll show you some, I'll give you some practical naman, not just yung theories. Kasi ito, mga theories, hindi naman. Kumbaga, there are some of the things na pwede mong gamitin, there are some things na hindi mo. Pero ano ba yung practical minsan? Ano yung nangyayari in the real world? Kumbaga, pag nag-invest ka na, di ba? From my personal experience naman. Okay, so our mindset when value investing, we have to make sure that we are patient. Okay, una, you have to be patient. Kasi value investing, usually, unlike trading, minsan it takes months or years to be able to realize ano yung value talaga niya, yung value na pino-project mo for that company or yung future value niya, kumbaga. So you have to be patient kasi hindi yan tipong bumili ako ngayon in 2 days, 3 days, or even in 1 day, kita kagad ako. Although possible yon, pero again, when you're value investing, you have to think long term as well. Yun yung second point. But also, doesn't mean na forever mong hahawakan. So like, doon sa dulo, sabi ko nga, no forever. Kasi there will come a point na you still have to take profit, kumbaga. Kaya you also set a time frame. Yung, kunyari, yung sinasabi ni Dennis na parang for him, 5 to 10 years, okay na siya. Parang yun yung goal niya. Iwan na niya dyan 5 to 10 years. Pero just to give you an example, if you invested 5 years from now, 5 years ago, diba? Or sabi pala niya 10 to 20 years, diba? Pero just to give you an example, yung 20 years may be a good time, pero hindi mo pa rin masasabi kasi things like this can happen. May mga iba, although yung sample size ko naman is around mga 7 years pa lang, di ba? So may nag-invest ng 2013, now medyo alanganin. So you have to also have a good time frame. At the same time, isipin mo rin ano yung at what point would you really take profit or ano ba talaga yung targets mo in terms of making the target mo for that company, 'di ba? Anong value yung ini-expect mo na okay na to, okay na to. Kasi isa rin ang advantage rin nun is that you can reinvest, 'di ba? Kasi like sabi ko nga kanina, if stocks are, bakit ba nag-undervalue some of the stocks? Kasi it can be a cycle. So if you are able to sell at the point na bago pa bumaba yung markets or even sa starting point pa lang nung pagbaba, later on you could also buy again, 'di ba? Although medyo trading na yon, pero like for example ako, I value invested in this market crash. Pero ang time frame ko hindi na pang long term. Ang time frame ko is 2-3 years from now. So I don't think you can consider that long term. I think medyo short to medium term na yon, 'di ba? So pero clear ako na may time frame ako. So either you go long term or important sa'yo na may time frame ka. Kasi after 2-3 years, syempre, sayang din naman yung profit. So I'll bibenta ko na. And then I'll wait for another crash maybe. 'Di ba? So yun yung strategy ko when I bought few months ago. Okay? So value investing requires diligence and research. So kailangan hindi rin basta-basta na you'll just invest money sa blue chips, 'di ba? So hindi mo rin masabi blue chips like yun, example ni DJ Jollibee, isang major example. So you have to do due diligence. So at what point, bakit bumababa si Jollibee? Bakit bumagsak si Jollibee, 'di ba? Anong news ang naging catalyst kung bakit naging nag-trigger kung bakit siya bumagsak, 'di ba? And to think na or another example is PLDT, for example. Parang for the longest time, PLDT is sinasabi parang yan yung pinaka matatag, medyo malabong bumagsak yan, ganyan. Price ng PLDT noon was around 2 plus, 3, ayan, 3.5 yung mga peak niyan. 3.5, di ba? And at that point, si PLDT was the biggest in terms of market cap sa PSEI, di ba? Ngayon kasi hindi na, si SM na. So, before si PLDT. Pero biglang siyang bumagsak. So, what happened there, di ba? But if you were value investing and natapat ka doon and you did not research or do due diligence, possible rin na yung time frame mo that kahit nasabi mong 20 years yun, medyo medyo baka may possibility rin na hindi ka pa kumita or very small lang yung kinita mo, di ba? So you have to do research and again, walang forever, not even the companies, hindi mo masasabi na you can't say na forever rin yung nandyan or di ba? You have to be aware kung anong mga nangyayari. Okay, ano ba yung strategies and reminders when value investing? Ito na yung mga practical tips that I can give you based on my personal experience. Okay, so una, have cash ready. Okay, so pinaka-favorite ko market crash talaga kasi 2008 nung nag-market crash, yun yung first time ako nag-start mag-invest into mutual funds. Okay, doon rin siguro a few months after the crash, doon din ako nag-start to invest in the stock market. Pero ano lang, konti lang. Konti lang yung pinasok ko. So, and then umangat siya. Pero since nag-crash na or nagkaroon ng ganung medyo natakot na ako. So I was very afraid of investing more. Kasi nga hindi ko alam anong certainty. Then 3-4 years after, some of the stocks 30% up na, yung mutual fund ko mga 30 to 40% up. So yun yung naging learning experience ko to tell me na dapat lagi akong may ready na cash, na dapat lagi pa rin akong nagsisave for times like these, 'di ba? So this pandemic, kahit papaano, swerte naman, meron akong naka-ready. Syempre, hindi ko naman ilalahat yun, pero at least, I can say na if umangat yan, once na umangat yan, by next year or 2 years from now, nakasakay ako. Kumbaga, yun yung favorite term ni Sir Rohel, 'di ba? Kailangan nakasakay ka. 'Di ba? Huwag mong hihintayin na maiwan ka. So, yun. So, have cash ready. So, sabi nga nila, cash is a possession. So, even if nakaka- and mas maganda yung magiging potential mo. Okay, read and keep yourself up to date. Ito is sa mga things that I really do. Okay, so, kahit na news lang or articles, columns, or whatever, or from read from other traders, 'di ba? Observing what they're doing helps a lot. Kasi dun mo and reading about companies that you are investing in. So, one of the things that I was medyo binabantayan ko when the pandemic started or yung crash nangyari or yung lockdown is how company, if you invest in a business, hindi naman yan yung tipong hayaan na lang nila, maghihintay na lang sila. Alam mo yun, they will react. They will be resilient enough. The good companies will be resilient enough to find ways to make profit or to adjust. Okay, even if they don't make profit, at least they will make sure na yung talo nila is not as significant as compared to kapag wala silang ginawa. So always read and keep yourself up to date. Understand the company and its business model. Paano ba kumikita, 'di ba? Like kanina na mention ni Leslie, nag-invest siya in IPO. One of the challenges sa IPO minsan is that yung mga investors minsan they just follow the hype without understanding the company and the business model, diba? Kasi parang nisip lang nila na madami nag-invest, yung parang herd mentality, marami nag-invest, IPO yan, ganyan. So, before you invest in an IPO, you have to make sure na you understand the business model, you understand the company, in terms of yung value niya, ano ba talaga yung, is it overpriced, especially if ang target mo is value investing. Kasi ang style ko talaga, I don't value invest on IPOs. So yun talaga yung style ko. So if I get into an IPO, usually yan, ang target ko dyan is to put money now, is to trade it. So may mga price na sasabihin ko out na ako if bumaba sa ganitong price. Hindi ako kasi usually ang IPO hindi talaga yan yung real value or real price niya or value niya in terms of yung company. Minsan overpriced yan, 'di ba? Minsan naman under, pero again, sometimes may impact pa rin ang so kumbaga hindi mo alam kung ano ba talaga at that time yung real value niya or real price niya. So hindi mo rin siya mako-compare against the value nung kumbaga hindi mo ma-assess masyado kung yan na ba talaga yon. Ganyan talaga yung tama ba yung pagka price sa kanya, 'di ba? So medyo mahirap in an IPO lalo na yung sentiment usually from IPO is medyo hype siya, ganyan. Yan, yun yung tamang term. Wala masyadong basis in terms of yung price, 'di ba? So hindi mo siya ma-compare. Hindi mo alam kung yun ba talaga yung price na fair para sa kanya na relative to its value. So yun. So you have to understand the company and the business model. Again, akin lang yun na IPO, for me, IPO, I don't value invest in IPO, but I trade. The only time I value invest in a stock is, kunyari IPO. For example, yung mga Merrimart, mga recent IPOs, di ba? Merrimart, ano pa ba yung mga fairly recent? Banggit nyo nga yung mga fairly recent kasi Merrimart lang yung napasok ko last time. Yung Arate, okay, Arate. Medyo kakaiba kasi yung Arate eh, parang ano siya. Mas walang basis yung Arate actually. Kasi first time yun lalabas eh. Mas mahirap mo ano eh. So, yung mga ganyan, what I do is, if lumabas na siya, nag-IPO siya, and then hindi ako nakapasok, then I'll okay lang yun for me. Hindi ako mafo-FOMO doon or hindi ako manghihinayang. So, what I'll do is, I'll watch how it moves, kung ano yung sentiment ng mga tao. At the same time, I understand the business model. Ano yung mga plans. I read articles kung ano yung mga plans for the company, how do they earn, what the company is all about, di ba? Habang titingnan ko yung price niya, price movement niya. And then once na I feel na medyo bumaba na siya from the IPO or nag-stabilize na yung price niya from the IPO, then doon ako magde-decide kung papasok ako or hindi in a company. Okay, so very important talaga yung understanding the company and the business model. Okay. Next is have a timeline or goal on when to take profit. Again, yun nga, taking profit is still a good strategy. Kumbaga, in value, kahit na value investing ka, hindi lang well, for me, yun yung at sa akin. Kasi parang I've had experiences na before na, yun nga, tulad yan, nag-invest ka 7 years ago, ngayon parang halos break-even ka lang or konti lang yung earnings mo. So parang nakakahinayang din, di ba? So, depende rin yan actually if why mo binili yon and why undervalued. Is it because of bad news? Is it because of because of a market crash? So like yung sinabi ko kanina, yung akin, because of market crash, kaya once na umangat yan, bumalik yan sa normal state, then most likely I would sell na. Sell my positions already. So, hindi pa rin siya trading kasi I don't look at the price naman. I don't look at the indicators for trading. I just believe in the company that the companies would survive and at the same time recover. Okay, so yun lang yung basis ko. Plus, yun, babasa rin ako ng news, like I said kanina. Kung ano yung ginagawa ng mga companies. Have a strategy or guide. So, yung hold forever, hindi rin yung, kumbaga, strategy. So, you have to still keep yourself up to date kung ano yung mga nangyayari. There's a difference between, ito nabasa ko lang rin kanina, there's a difference between value investing and passive investing. So, yung passive investing is yung invest ka lang without looking at the price kasi you feel that angat siya in the future. Diba? You don't really do much due diligence. So, yung lagay ka lang ng lagay ng money, ganyan, tuloy lang pag-invest more passive invest. If you're gonna do passive investing, might as well have pooled funds kasi you don't really have to understand the companies or the business models. Kasi if you do passive investing in a stock, for example, you still have to be aware of news, ano yung nangyayari sa company, how profitable the company is. You have to understand these things eh. Kasi otherwise, you can't say na overvalued na yung company or undervalued na, alam mo yun. So, you still have to make sure that you study these things or to know about these things para aware ka when to get out, di ba? Kasi mamaya, passive investing ka on a stock, for example, Ayala, hindi ka naman nagbabasa ng news or hindi ka naman up to date, hindi naman inaalam kung nag-earn sila on a year to year or quarterly basis, diba? Hindi na pala nag-grow yung company, puro losses na pala. Hindi pa pababa na yung stock. So, hindi mo na, katulad ng Jollibee, di ba? Parang, pag nagpa-passive investing ka doon, nang hindi ka aware kung ano nangyayari, then, maano ka, maapekto ka talaga, di ba? And, hindi mo alam when it will recover back, di ba? Kung mababalik mo pa yan, lalo na pag bumili ka, 200 plus, for example, 300 plus, di ba? So, medyo, if you're gonna passive investing, might as well go with the mutual funds or mga UITFs kasi in these things, people may third party na that invest for you. So you don't really have to study much of the companies kasi some of the yung company na ini-investan ng mga mutual funds kasi sila na yung gumagawa ng research for you, di ba? So sila, since most likely long-term rin ang projections nila dito or investing nila, most likely they pinag-aaralan nila kagad yung mga value ng mga companies na to, 'di ba? And they use metrics already. So if you're gonna do passive investing, might as well go that route. If you're gonna do yung value investing talaga is understanding the company and understanding yung earnings or what goes on within the company, diba? So or the business para aware ka. Another thing that you should be aware of is yung bull and bear. Okay, so kasi a bull market would mean that yung stocks are moving up, kumbaga, continuously moving up, dire-diretso siya. Okay, ibig sabihin, investors are very optimistic about the economy, about the market, about the companies that they're investing in. So tuloy-tuloy yung pag-angat niyan. So as an investor, as a value investor, medyo risky if you, let's say, nag-invest ka on a bear market kasi bear market pala tapos biglang nag-invest ka. May malaki rin yung chance that, you know, bumagsak yung stocks mo. So you have to be aware rin kung ano yung nangyayari sa market, 'di ba? Kung nasa bear market ba tayo or nasa bull market para you can also have a strategy kung anong gagawin mo once those things happen. Diba? So you just have to be aware. Again, you kailangan mo pa rin yan i-connect with your timeline or your time frame. Yung kaninang na-mention ko, dapat meron kang basis like si Dennis, 20 years. So baka hindi siya masyadong impacted by a bull or a bear market, 'di ba? So parang for him, baka okay lang sa kanya, pero again, you have to understand kung ano yung nangyayari with the markets. Okay, questions. Passive investing parang cost averaging, bili lang ng bili, yes. But ito rin yung ito rin yung sabihin ko about passive investing. So natutunan ko to from Jess Uy, one of the RFPs na na-meet ko before. Sa Singapore naman siya based. Ang ginagawa niya, ang ina-advise niya for his clients is if nag-invest ka in a fund, for example, mutual fund, UITF, you can do cost averaging. But you can do cost averaging pero hindi mo ibubuhos lahat. Kumbaga, you set aside a certain amount every month as well na iniipon mo as cash, savings lang. Para pag bumagsak, for times like these na nag-crash yung market, bumagsak ng significantly yung markets, then you can pwede mong gamitin yung cash na yun to put in more. Okay. Kasi, minsan nangyayari, yes, nagko-cost averaging ako, pero hindi natin natitake yung nag-grab yung opportunity na kapag bumagsak yung market, kasi by that time, bumagsak, wala na akong cash. So you can do a little bit of both when you do cost averaging. Cost averaging ka and then maglagay ka ng cash na Cost averaging sa stocks not advisable. Personally, ako, I do either value investing lang or trading. Yung value investing ko lagi may time frame. So like, ganyan, market crash. Yun yung inaabangan ko, market crash. Or pag major, ano talaga, pag galing sa bear. Diba? Minsan, after naman ng bear market, angat pa rin yan eh. So you just have to wait. So more patient. More patience. Ang cost averaging ko, ginagawa ko sa VUL ko. So, yun yung personal strategy na ginagawa ko. So, monthly ako lagi sa VULs. Technically, nagko-cost average ako doon. Pero yung mga mutual funds ko, for example, hindi rin ako regular, hindi ako monthly eh. Minsan pag bumaba lang, kunyari nag-dip from 9,000, nag-dip to 7,000, maglalagay ako doon, 7,000. Pag nag-dip ulit, maglalagay ulit ako konti, 6,000, ganyan. Is it advisable? Personally, hindi ko siya ginagawa. So, I guess I won't advise you to do the same. Pero kasi may experience ako, may client ako for example, nag-message nung the other time. Cost averaging siya, laki ng down niya. Laki ng down stocks niya. Siyempre, medyo kinabahan siya. Although alam naman niya, cost averaging siya. Sabi ko naman sa kanya, babawi eventually. Pero you have to wait, diba? So, yun. I guess nasa sayo na yun kung ano yung strategy na gusto mo employ. Pero personally, hindi talaga eh. Ako pag stocks talaga, trading. Ikaw ba, Argel?
Pag cost averaging kasi talagang super long term siya.
Yun pa, yung isa.
Yung idea sa kanya. Kasi lalo na medyo sideways yung galaw ng PSE, di ba? Meaning, wala masyadong action. Di ba parang hindi na nabutas yung 9,000, 8,500, gano'n. For the past so many years. Talagang kapag nag-cost average, possible na hindi rin gano'n kataas pa yung maging value niya. Let's say 3 years. In 3 years time na consistent cost averaging. So talagang more than mga 5 plus years talaga yung idea niya for me. Yun yung take ko kay cost averaging. Tsaka ano siya, yun nga, parang passive siya na lazy investing. Parang
yep, parang gano'n. Passive investing niya talaga siya pag cost averaging. Yun yung strategy ko. Cost averaging better siguro for mutual funds. Actually, sa mutual funds, hindi ka naman na magva-value investing eh. Kasi, sa stocks lang talaga siyang mag-a-apply. Kasi you don't really study yung per company na ini-investan ng mutual fund company. So, I guess yung value investing mo is with the mutual. Pero usually naman kasi yung mutual funds are diversified. So, I think ang strategy mo for mutual funds that I would suggest is you cost average and then go tactical, mag-save ka para just in case mag-drop ng konti, you could still buy more. Kumbaga, you buy more on those times na bumaba siya. And then, cost averaging ka. So, you buy less on those times na mataas siya. Alam mo yun? So, kunyari, umabot sa 9,000, you buy more once na bumaba ulit siya to 6,000. Diba? Pero cost averaging ka pa rin on a regular basis. Pwede ganun strategy. Is it really necessary to well, ideally, yes. Pero since hindi ako tumitingin talaga sa PE ratio, to be honest, and sa PB value, kaya nag-value investing lang ako on market crashes. Kasi I know the price is really low. So, pero the real sense of PE ratio, like if you want yung mga Buffett style, talagang pinag-aaralan nila yan. And usually, alam ko yung mga recommendations ni COL based rin dyan sa mga PE ratios. Pero marami yan yung mga PE ratio, hindi lang yan yun eh. And PB value. Marami yan, marami kailangan tignan dyan other than Meron kasi sa akin may PE and PB. Pero, ano yung COE?
COE.
Certificate of Employment. ROE. Ano ROE?
Return on equity.
Return on equity. Hindi, ito na lang isipin mo. Hindi ko lang alam paano ano yung calculator na ginagamit niya. So, ano yung mga ano tawag dito? Yung calculator. Yung ano yung mga ini-input mo doon sa calculator mo. Pero maraming factors to determine kasi if a company is a good assets, which is makikita mo rin from the PB, sa PB, price to book, di ba? And yung mga debts, di ba? So, actually, kahit na financial statements lang tingnan mo, feeling ko kung okay yung company or hindi. Malaking bagay yun, yung financial statements. Titingnan ko, open ko. Oh, ayan si Dennis
pag
pala,
ganyan,
Dennis
Yan
pala.
nga, si COL.
Ha? Si Dennis, accountant pala yan. So,
COL ako tumitingin. Ayan, oo nga.
nakikita nyo ba yung sinishare ko? Ay, yung ano.
Naka-slides pa. Q&A slides.
I-enter mo. Naka-slide pa.